Good Wednesday morning. Thanks for joining us on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Megan McPherson. Breaking Olympic news this morning. U.S. skiing legend Mikaela Shiffrin wins gold in the slalom. She finished her final run in just under 52 seconds. Her combined times were a full second and a half ahead of the rest of the field. That winning margin is the largest in any Olympic alpine skiing event since 1998. Happening right now, Duluth is getting slammed by a nasty winter storm. This is a live picture looking out over Lake Superior. You can see those winds whipping and the snow starting to pile up on the canal there. Several thousand people are without power up north right now. Even Canal Park lost power for a while.
There goes the power. The power's out. That's it. Canal Park is done.
That was from our partners, Northern News Now. They lost power along with everyone else. Road crews have their work cut out for them. Duluth International Airport has 2 flights out delayed before 9 a.m. After that, everything is on time. A lot of schools are delayed 2 hours as well. A handful of cancellations, too. A somber anniversary in Burnsville today. 2 years since officers Paul Elmstrand and Matthew Ruge and firefighter paramedic Adam Finseth were shot and killed in the line of duty. Today, the city of Burnsville will honor their bravery as part of Public Safety Memorial Day with a display at City Hall for people to come and pay their respects. The city's flag will also fly at half-mast throughout the day. Overnight, red, blue, and white lights illuminated city buildings. They will be lit up again tonight. It's day 2 of the legislative session, and already one of the most closely watched policy fights is shaping up, and it's about fighting fraud. Governor Walz not mincing words, saying this year will be challenging. He says work will be much harder after a wave of federal prosecutor resignations.
Our problem is all of them are gone. I mean, that's the story that's in here, that is a damn nightmare. We are picking up folks to be able to do this work. Our team is, I think, setting a really good path to have a lot of this tightened up, but I'm going to need some legislative fixes.
At least 14 federal prosecutors stepped down, including Joe Thompson, who led the high-profile Feeding Our Future case. The governor says the state is now working to rebuild enforcement efforts, but says lawmakers will need to step in to strengthen oversight. House Speaker Lisa Demuth says Republicans plan to again push for tougher anti-fraud measures, including creating a statewide Office of Inspector General, an independent authority investigating fraud across state government. And day 1 of the session was dedicated to late Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman and her husband, who were shot and killed last summer. They were killed in targeted attacks on lawmakers, and yesterday the legislature passed a joint resolution to honor them. Yesterday was also Senator John Hoffman's first day back since the shooting last June. He and his wife Yvette were shot but survived the attack. Hoffman was met with a standing ovation as he walked into the chambers. When lawmakers head to work today, they'll be met with a rally against data centers as debates get heated across the state. Last night, Eagan City councilors unanimously agreed to put a temporary pause on building any new large data centers. It's a first of its kind move in the state to study the structures that have become very controversial. Jennifer Hoff has more on what happens next.
Data centers in Eagan may be new, but the controversy surrounding the large buildings is not.
Welcome everybody to February 17th.
Leading city councilors to now put a temporary pause on any future facilities using more than 20 megawatts of electricity or within 500 feet of homes to study the long-term impacts. Critics say includes massive resource consumption.
I actually applaud you for becoming what I believe the first city in Minnesota to kind of pull back on the reins on these large data centers.
The centers power artificial intelligence. Supporters say can add jobs and supplement the property tax roll. Eagan has 4 smaller ones already, with another one expected here off Highway 149. Its developer writing, "We are committed to working collaboratively with stakeholders." The debate over data center projects extends across Minnesota, from Hermantown to Rosemount, with people packing chambers, filing lawsuits, and demanding transparency.
We have to hold decorum.
Tempers flaring so much in Farmington over its plans.
Otherwise, it's just a free-for-all.
The mayor even resigned.
It becomes a circus.
Concerns may keep growing, and so too does the demand. But it's anyone's guess when the technology bubble might burst.
That's why we're doing this study, is to try to separate out what the realities are of these data centers at all different sizes.
The moratorium will now expire in a year, during which the city will embark on that study. The counselors say that will help them recommend any possible restrictions on building larger data centers in the future in the city. And new this morning, progress is being made, that from U.S. officials after another round of nuclear talks with Iran. Iranian officials echoed that sentiment, but both sides say more work must be done to stave off any potential military action. At the same time, U.S. negotiators are in Geneva again today for a second day of talks, aiming to bring an end to Russia's war on Ukraine. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
Hi there. Both sides confirmed the Ukraine talks wrapped after about 2 hours today, a full day yesterday. A top Russian official called them difficult but businesslike and said the next meeting will take place soon. President Trump wants these fierce foes to come to some kind of agreement by June. Negotiators back at the table for a second day of talks between Russia and Ukraine. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff writing day one of U.S. mediated discussions yielded meaningful progress toward a peace deal, 1 week before the 4-year mark of Russia's full-scale invasion. Ahead of the talks, President Trump urged Ukraine to compromise.
Ukraine better come to the table fast.
While a pair of Democratic senators traveled to Kyiv pressing for ironclad security guarantees against future Russian attacks.
Ukraine needs and deserves a guarantee from the United States, not just European powers.
Witkoff and the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, also joining negotiations Tuesday on a deal to curb Iran's nuclear program. The top Iranian diplomat citing good progress on the path toward an agreement, but cautioning they will not reach it quickly, while Vice President J.D. Vance pointed to roadblocks.
The president has set some red lines that the Iranians are not yet willing to actually acknowledge and work through. So we're going to keep on working it.
President Trump has signaled military action is an option if there's no deal to guarantee Iran won't get a nuclear weapon. The president ordered a second U.S. aircraft carrier to the region before the negotiations and suggested regime change might be the best thing that could happen. Iran has threatened retaliation for any attack, and the supreme leader now says any attempt to take down his government would fail. Back on Ukraine, territory and security guarantees remain the top issues. And while Russia has shown no sign of backing off its demands, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said over the weekend he felt the United States was pressuring his country to make concessions without putting that same kind of public pressure on Russia. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Happening right now in California, a frantic search for several backcountry skiers after a massive avalanche in the Sierra Nevada region. The area is getting pummeled right now with snow. Several feet is expected to fall up in the mountains near Lake Tahoe. It's so bad that rescuers had to suspend the search for the skiers overnight. They'll start up again when the weather allows. And Lindsey Vonn is back in the United States this morning after spending more than a week in an Italian hospital. Vonn says she is still recovering after fracturing her tibia in a downhill race on February 8th. She says she has not stood on her feet in over a week, and she is still not able to stand. Besides being the host city of the Olympics, Milan is also the fashion capital of the world. Alicia has more on Italy's iconic fashion sense.
Well, fashion is so very important all over Italy.
And Milan resident Alessandro Pini says there's one place in Milan to go for the finest styles.
Indeed. In the Galleria we have all the most famous brands, the shops from lovely shoes to the beautiful accessories. We have the very first shop of Prada open here.
Located in the heart of Milan, right next to the Milan Cathedral, is the Galleria, a mall built in 1865 with a dome and architecture that are as beautiful.
Look at it. It's covered with glass and iron ever since the beginning.
As the clothes being sold here.
1865 when this was built.
And today, it's full of the biggest names in fashion.
We have Gucci, we have Louis Vuitton, we have them all.
Where looking good is feeling good.
We call it in Latin the genius loci, so there is something about the place itself that is inspiring people either to dress or to make art.
And why Alessandro says Italy
is a country where beauty is in every single corner.
Looks so good.
You noticed.
Stick with us. More news and weather is coming up after the break.